Because now, of course, some people say, yeah, if all the time I would be just satisfied with being, well, then nothing would be done in this world in a way. Nothing would happen. So how do I feed my children? How do I pay my bills? So, of course, it is not realistic to just stay in this state of being. But at the same time, if you constantly doing and go into action, the problem is that we already put the next goal and start running again. When my mind is flooded with so many possibilities, I just have become more conscious in really deciding in what do I really want to invest my lifetime. Is it worth it to attain it that I'm working for right now? And if I still come to the conclusion, yes, even though this lifetime is limited, but to experience whatever it is, yes, it's worth it, I'm gonna go for it. Well, then do it. The only thing I try to really prevent people from doing is unconsciously following structures and patterns and cycles in the imagination is going to give them something that they are longing for, but it won't. Why would I in the first place go into action at all? So why would I go into doing something? Because apparently something is lacking. Why would I set a goal? Because I assume that when I reach the goal, it's going to give me something that in the moment where I'm setting the goal, I don't have. So this is why doing or going into action or achieving something comes into play. Why would I need to achieve something if in this very moment I don't feel like I'm missing anything, that there needs something to be achieved? So this is where on the one side we have this area of doing, achieving, going into action. And now just imagine you would be, let's say, the director of your own movie. Jump out of the body and watch yourself right now. You are sitting like with Shi Heng Yi. We sit on the same table and you are writing your story. How do you want to write the story? After this podcast, you want to feel uncomfortable, feel unsafe, feel unloved, unsatisfied with the whole life, cry or anything like this? Or how do you imagine what is a really nice way of living for you the next 50 years? And based on that, purpose can be different. You say, I do like the travel. I do like to invest this lifetime in this body to have the feeling at least that I can contribute something to all the fellow brothers and sisters that are around there. It makes me like I wake up, I like to do it. It gives me purpose. So it is something very, very personal. I do not believe that every human being has the same purpose. But now there's another type of purpose, which is more or less personally for me. Why do I think that in the first place we have been put with all these possibilities? And positively said, I do think it is a blessing being able to just experience. It's a blessing that we have been granted the possibility of simply experiencing what this existence is capable of creating, including everything. Including the joy, including the happiness, including the tears, including the heartbreaks, all of this, without the separation, whether you prefer one area or not. Sometimes the one goes with the other. But the purpose, in a way, is just be and experience. The only thing that happens, and which is a big part nowadays, is if you take your current existence too serious. If you completely base your identity, your being on what you think you are. It's just a picture right now. Just sometimes make it very simple. Jump out of yourself and be the director. Be the director of this avatar. And then it just opens another perspective. Because in that moment, you just realize it's like a movie. Not everything is always positive. but in the moment where there are times of struggle, still not being caught inside your own creation, identity, illusion of the self, different expressions for that. It's a very helpful way of thinking.
And the other part is, everything is good as it is. There is nothing to achieve. I am self-fulfilled. I'm self-satisfied. I am being. So we have being and we have doing. And this is for me literally, how do I find this balance between being and doing? Because now, of course, some people say, yeah, if all the time I would be just satisfied with being, well, then nothing would be done in this world in a way. Nothing would happen. So how do I feed my children? How do I pay my bills? So, of course, it is not realistic to just stay in this state of being. But at the same time, if you constantly doing and go into action, the result of this is you run after things, you achieve it. But instead of even holding on a moment and enjoy your achievement, be proud of you, of what you have achieved. Remain a moment in this feeling of, yes, it feels good. The problem is that we already put the next goal and start running again. So one is just leading to the fact of you never stand still. You don't find your peace. There is no peace. And the other thing is you have peace, but you have no progress. And this is something that we as humans, it's very natural to balance out exactly those two areas and be very aware. You are not supposed to do nothing, but you are also not supposed to run and run and run and never arrive. Both of them are like pointless. And I do think this is the balance.